there is a war going on, and it is being waged against the middle class. We call it Bidenflation, the cost of goods that are skyrocketing. Gas is pushing $4 and even $5 a gallon in some parts of the country. And now, the backbone of America, the working class family, is really suffering. This inflation crisis amounts to an oppressive tax on them. And the sad reality is it's been artificially created. Every policy decision Team Biden makes leads directly to higher costs of everything. And yet Joe Biden pretends it's all out of his control.
We're in a situation where there's a lot of anxiety. Gas prices are up exceedingly high.
I know the cost of gas, groceries, and rent seems to be harder and harder to handle.
Do you ever think you'd be paying this much for a gallon of gas? In some parts of California, they're paying $4.50 a gallon.
See, Joe Biden appears to be clueless that he created this mess. Now, he may be clueless about it, but Team Biden isn't. See, what they are doing is by design. The puppet masters are working to create a system modeled by the leftist World Economic Forum, where every company is given a social credit score, just like China, based off of requirements that companies adopt environmental, social, and governmental standards. ESG is the initials. The goal is to coerce companies to go woke. And the more woke your company is, the more hip to this falsely perceived ills of society, the more rewards your company will receive in the form of government cash and tax breaks. But in order to get there, to coerce these companies into social justice compliance, Team Biden must break them first, then bribe them with that government cash. It's why Team Biden, from day one, put its sights on fossil fuels, killing the Keystone Pipeline, slowing down drilling permits, dispatching OSHA investigators to drilling sites in devious attempts to shut drilling operations down there as well. With success on all fronts, the price of oil now soars. The cost of goods and services goes skyrocketing with it. And when the media catches on, it has to be that bad.
This inflation is a lot worse than people think. It is not transitory.
We knew that this inflation report would be brutal, but this was much worse than expected. And as you mentioned, it's landing right before the holidays.
Americans are likely to see much higher heating bills this winter.
If beef is what's for dinner for your family, get ready for some Fred Flintstone-sized sticker shock. The wholesale price of high-quality beef is up 34% since last year.
Inflation is a regressive tax. It hits the poor people hardest of all.
Dig deep. We are just about a nickel away from the all-time average high price for gasoline here.
Grocery stores are already struggling to fill empty shelves, and people can expect to pay record high prices for their holiday food.
All of that, you can blame Joe Biden. Because instead of unleashing our energy resources like President Trump did, which Team Biden could do, by the way, with a simple stroke of the pen, they feign concern instead, and they offer up phony solutions when in the end, what they want is for all of you, all of us, to suffer.
I can just tell you what we've been doing here, which is calling on OPEC to increase their supply.
That's absolutely baloney. We know it's baloney. Yes, the Biden administration asked for OPEC for more supply. And you know what OPEC said? Hey, Biden, you want more gas? Pump it yourself.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand on this. As you know, of course, oil is a global market. It is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and they made a decision yesterday that they were not going to increase beyond what they were already planning.
That's one of Joe Biden's cabinet members laughing about that. You see, OPEC is not the answer. Why would we want to rely on foreign nations, many of which look at us as evil adversaries? Surely, Team Biden can't be so dumb. They aren't. They will falsely argue this energy crisis, supply chain crisis, is just proof government needs to invest more in green energy. See, that's the play here. They want wind and solar projects there, electric cars. The massive reconciliation spending bill sets aside $500 billion for just that. But it's not about the environment. It's about lining the pockets of the leftist billionaire campaign donors, most of whom have massive investments in green energy. That's why they won't take responsibility for this problem. And instead, Biden is banking on company executives to fix it for him.
I spoke with the CEOs, personally spoke with the CEOs of the major retailers, Walmart, Target, and the leading freight movers, FedEx and UPS. They assured me that the shelves will be stocked in stores this holiday. They're getting more of their containers off the porch quicker.
I don't believe a word the man says. The supply chain crisis caused by Democrat-inspired lockdowns has used car prices now up 26%. Now, not only can you not afford gas for your car, but you can't afford the car either. And because car parts are hard to come by, the cost of repairs is going up too. And since it costs more to fix a car, guess what? Car insurance companies have raised rates nearly 6% as well. This barrage of price increases is hard to absorb for anyone. But the wealthy, though, they can do it. You know why? Because they buy or lease new cars, all under warranty. Again, it gets back to the middle class that this hurts. I'm sure you have seen firsthand that food prices are now up more than 10%, which doesn't just hurt the middle class, but the poor really hard. Food banks, too. They have problems now keeping food in stock to feed the hungry.
Our challenge is that it's costing us more money than we imagined and more money than we've ever spent on food before.
They are getting less food, substantially less food currently.
We had none of these problems under President Trump. None. Because he let free markets work and he kept government out of the way. But this is what Team Biden does. They don't care that Americans suffer in their quest to radically change America. See, we the people are simply their collateral damage.